Yo, 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 guys, it is Old Man G here back again. United transfer deadline day stream or just Premier League deadline day stream. We are going to be streaming for the next hour. So I know a lot of people have been doing live streams all day. And shout out to those who have, likes of Tactical Manager, Draco, and the likes. So please go to their channel and subscribe. But we're going to be going for an hour because, quite frankly, I don't think I could have done this for multiple hours, given how, frankly, depressing this whole transfer has been for me as a Manchester United fan. And we are going to talk about some of the players that we signed. As I've said on my post a couple of videos today and yesterday, Edinson Cavani obviously is signed. That's been made official just a few minutes ago. We signed Alex Telles, posted a video about that. We've obviously signed two young, in quote, potential players as well. But there's that. Van der Beek obviously came in earlier. But we've also had some misses in the likes of Dembele being out. And I'm obviously joined by Transfer Tom, who's obviously been keeping us very much updated with all the transfer news. He's doing a very good job and is a good mate of mine. But before we get into it, I mean, as a fellow United fan, how do you feel? How do you feel as a United fan how this transfer window has gone? And be honest. Be honest.
It's gone to shit, really, if I'm being honest. It's just last minute, Man United have signed, 4 players in pretty much 2 days, two young players that you've said about, and Cavani and Telles. Telles I don't think was rushed because that's been talked about for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah. That was a second choice, I think.
Yeah.
After Reguilon, probably, yeah.
Yeah, but with Cavani, that came out of nowhere, a couple of days ago and everything, because Cavani's been a free agent for pretty much 7 months because he's not been playing for PSG anyway, and his contract was going to be terminated. PSG already said that. So United, if they were that serious about signing Cavani, they would have done it as soon as he became a free agent. But they've done it on deadline. Well, pretty much they signed him yesterday, but everything needed to be put in motion, everything today, and then it gets all clarified and done.
Right. Exactly, yeah.
But, the manager has clearly been let down. It's clear to see the manager has been let down. Ollie did not go into this window and say, I wanted, I think Donny van der Beek would be a player that I would have expected him to maybe have said, yeah, go and get me Donny van der Beek. Telles, possibly. But Cavani, I will be very, very surprised if he told the board to go and buy me Edinson Cavani. Very, very surprised. He told Ed Woodward to go and buy him Erling Haaland in January, and it didn't happen. He told Ed Woodward to go and buy Jude Bellingham this summer. It didn't happen. And he's told him to go buy Jadon Sancho, and it's not happened. 3 players that have all either stayed or joined Dortmund. Rather, 2 players, Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham, 2 of the best young talents out there at the moment, chose Borussia Dortmund over Manchester United. That says something. Jude Bellingham, Manchester United, you get, Sir Alex Ferguson gave him the whole tour around Carrington, everything. And it still wasn't enough to convince him. And people ask, why is that? And I think, obviously, the main answer is the board. But I'm sure we'll obviously get into all that and everything. But no, as a fan, I think it's just been disappointing. And it sums up the whole, weekend, really. Starting of the week, you get spanked 6-1 against Spurs, and then, struggling to get deals over the line on the last day of the window. It's not Man United. It's not Man United at all.
But let's be real. I mean, you say it's not Manchester United, but it's been Manchester United. It's been Manchester United for the last, since Fergie left. If we're honest, if we're honest about ourselves, this happened. As much as I felt that Mourinho was not necessarily the right guy for the job, at the end of the day, and sorry, so I'll be back to Rich Sports, was going to say that Cavani's been available for ages, so signing him now looks like obvious second, third choice. Exactly. I agree with you, Rich. The reality is that you look at Mourinho, you look at so many of the other, even Van Gaal. Our transfer window last season when Ollie started wasn't even that great. Mourinho, I think in his last season got, I think just Fred, and he asked for a defender. So
he asked for Harry Maguire.
It's been going for a while now. Coming out of the transfer window of no CB or right, I love this club. Exactly. And what's painful for me, Yasser said, broken, I come on. Yeah, man, I'll send you a link, man. Give me 2 seconds. But I just want to quickly address Red Devil Weekly's point. What's so frustrating about this window is that a lot of these, it's probably a lot of these players, a lot of potential players that could have been United could have worked for cheap, in my opinion. There has been no 100 million player or anything like that. Players like Werner, 40 million. Gabriel, who we were linked to, is now with Arsenal, 20, 30 million. Partey's gone to there for, I think, 45 million. Reguilon for 25 million. Even Upamecano's release clause isn't that much, so it's not like we're talking about spending 80 million, 70 million, 100 break like all that money. We're talking about players of high quality for less than 50 million. And we just didn't go for it. And we were out competed by the likes of Arsenal, Newcastle. It's I don't get it. I just do not get it. I do not get it. I mean, what do you think, Tom? Well, what are your thoughts actually on the transfers that we actually have gotten?
Well, obviously, I think that we spoke about Van der Beek, in the middle of the window. So I think obviously that ship sailed in terms of that. But just speaking on Tellers and Cavani, I'll start with Tellers. It's a signing that I think needed to happen after what we saw at the Spurs game. Sure, I'm sorry, it was diabolical. I can't defend him. He's the left back and he's playing as if he was the centre back.
Yeah.
When your centre back has to go and run out to the left back position to close a player down, you know that you've got a problem, and you're gonna leak goals down that side, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw, non-existent there. Alex Tellers brings something different to Shaw, and that's that bombing up, and he has been compared to Andy Robertson because he does what Robertson does, gets forward, puts balls in the box, but he can also come back and defend. And in the modern game, you need a player like that. And I think Tellers is obviously Tellers isn't coming here for for the paycheck or anything. He's coming here to win things and everything. He's been sold Man United.
From what I've seen of Tellers, to be honest, the big thing for me, and I'm just going to bring Yassi into Yassi, man. How you doing?
That's a good question, man. I've been frustrated the whole day. It's been a terrible last couple of days, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut off.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, before we even go into, because obviously you just come on, so Tom shared his point of just what. Be honest. Let's be open. Be honest right now. Obviously there's still 45 minutes left for anything to happen. But be honest. What exactly is your thoughts? Sorry, just looking at the comments actually, because Average Joe's mentioned a good point here. 2 things. One, a multi-billion-dollar club can't spend 120 million. But more important, we're about to buy Dembele. Why didn't we pay 40, 50 million for Adama? That is a fair point, actually. I'm not saying Adama. Sorry?
He wasn't leaving Wolves. He wanted to sign a new contract.
Sign a new contract. Okay, fair enough. But Yassir, what are your thoughts on this disaster show? Let's put it that way.
I just keep thinking, I look at all the clubs and what they have done, and I'm comparing it to what we have done. Every single club has signed their primary target. Our primary target was just one player. If you told me that, we're not going to do no business, but we're going to sign a single player, and that is Jadon Sancho, I would have been angry because we need more than that. But then I'll be like, okay, because Jadon Sancho is a generational talent, and he is going to come into our first team and actually come straight in and actually rectify a problem we haven't solved in so many years, the right wing side. That I just don't understand. And then now there's confirmation that comes out that Edison Cavani, which
Yep.
was a free, which was an absolute free. The guy didn't was not playing for any club since I think January, since his contract expired.
7
Has
months.
has not played for any club.
Yeah.
We gave him such an iconic shirt, the number 7 shirt.
Is that
We
official
gave it to
now?
him.
Is
It's
that
official.
official?
That's what everybody is saying right now, and then is everyone believes it's true.
I'll
So
try and
that
find that out.
I
I
have no
really.
reason. I have no reason not to believe it's true, which
Mm,
which confirms to me that we're not gonna sign a right winger. We're not going to. We won't sign a right winger anytime soon. Not next summer. Not the summer after. Because it just doesn't. I don't get it. I mean the signings. If I'm gonna look at it objectively, I
mm,
don't mind the signings we have made. But let's
mm,
be honest. Have we signed the signings we have made? Are they positions that we are desperately in need of? And that
yeah.
is no.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like, come on, we signed a
Yeah.
backup striker, or now he's probably gonna play because of what Martial has done. Because of the red card, Edison Cavani has to play. So we pretty much sign a striker that's gonna replace Igalo. We sign a left back where we have Luke Shaw and
Brandon
Brandon
Williams.
Williams, and then we also signed like a couple of young Van de Beek, attacking midfielder, where
Yeah.
Bruno can play, where Pogba
Yeah.
can play.
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't. We desperately need a center back. We desperately need a CDM.
Yeah.
We desperately need a right winger.
Well, how do you feel? I mean, see, this is the thing, Yassi. I mean, as I was saying, kind of at the start, you know, you look at Arsenal just now. I mean, I know it's not 100% official confirmed, but they've just signed Partey. You know, even like if we even talk about Chelsea Football Club. Look at Arsenal Football Club. Yes, they might not have spent like millions, but in terms of the areas, they got Willian. Say what you will about Willian. He's a right winger. Okay, so they got someone to come into that position. They obviously signed Gabriel, a centre back, for 30 million, and then they signed now potentially signed a CDM in Partey, and I think they signed someone else. I'm trying to remember. Gabriel. Well, they've got Ceballos. Has been, I think. I think
Yeah,
he's
he got loaned back.
Loan back to him. So I think that's 4. And I don't know. I think that might be everything. And this other centre back, Selber, I think is obviously is coming back, is starting. But like at the end of the day, you know, they've signed players in those key areas. You know, they've signed 3 of those players are areas that we needed in terms of a centre back, Gabriel, who we were linked to, a CDM party who we've never really gone into, and
a right winger.
And the right winger, and Willian. And say what you would about Willian. Okay, yes, Willian is, but he's still a right winger. He's still got something there, you know. So the reality is that Arsenal, Chelsea have done the deed. Even Spurs have improved on what they've got to do. Everton have bought an entire new midfield. You know, City, you know, okay, spend 65 million on another centre back, see what happens there. But you know, United, what have we done? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Before I go back to I'm sorry, let me just quickly read some comments. Sorry. Can we talk about Oli getting sacked? There's reports of Poch. 6 acceptable. I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to use the stream as a sort of an Oli out sort of things, because right now, this is not about Oli. Whether you're Oli in or Oli out, this is about the gross incompetence at Manchester United Football Club. Because the reality is that if Poch comes in, do you guys honestly think that Poch is going to be backed? Do you guys honestly think that he's going to get the signings?
No.
I want these signings. Is he going to? Mourinho wasn't.
No.
Van Gaal wasn't. Moyes wasn't. So why do you think any other manager coming? And those 2 managers won Champions Leagues and Premier League titles. So why do you think any better?
But studio, let me just paint. Let me just think about it this way. The board, after that 6-1 thrashing we got at home to Spurs, the result the next day is that we signed Edison Cavani, we signed Telles, and we signed a couple of youngsters. That's it. We didn't address their problems at all. That was the reaction from the 6-1. And then Ed Woodward or whoever have the audacity to put out that Manchester United are interested in Pochettino. Are you kidding me? Are you having a laugh? Like, you're so incompetent at your job. You couldn't get the signings we desperately needed. It's so sham. Our transfer window is such a joke that the whole world is laughing at us. That you had the audacity to say, "Oh, Manchester United are interested in Pochettino." Like, how dare you? How dare you? You completely taking completely disrespecting our club, first thing, and you're disrespecting our intelligence. You think we are stupid as fans? Are you kidding me? I don't get it. It makes my head hurt. I haven't had any sleep because of this club. I just made me like I just been depressed. I just don't understand because I gotta go back to the Jadon Sancho. Let's be real, and I don't care what Sky Sports say or whatever. The reality is that Jadon Sancho wanted to come to Manchester United. He wanted to come to us. It is obvious that we have the money. If we could spend 40 million on the kid from Atalanta, if we could spend on 40 million on that, if we could spend if we could give 25 million to Tellus, if we could spend 10 million on Edinson Cavani's agent, if we could spend 35 million on Van de Beek, that means we have the money. That means we have the money. And Ed Woodward choose not to buy him. He deliberately choose not to buy it.
Sorry, Yasser, not to interrupt you. I'm just quickly read some comments, but I want you to continue ranting. Suspect Dream says Sancho L, Reguilon L, Bale L, Thiago L, Bachil L, Grealish L. You lot took a lot of L's in the market and settled Van de Beek, who for sure deserves minutes over Pogba, contracts nothing. I agree. And in fact, somewhere in this show, actually, probably towards the end of the hour, I'm going to show you the video that I posted, I think 2 weeks ago. It was, I think, entitled United Transfer Failings. I think, Tom, you might have been involved in it, I think. Where I basically said no. I think I said no to all of those transfers. And I was actually getting some heat from some Manchester United fans who were saying, "Oh, stop being pessimistic, stop being negative," you know. And then the following day, it was like no to Thiago, no to Bale, no to Reguilon, and no to who's the fourth one? I can't remember. Sancho. No, it was Sancho actually. And I just said, listen, it's not going to happen. None of these things are going to happen at all. And I got a lot of heat from it, from people in the comments and stuff. And well, here we are. Before I come back to it, so thank you for the super chat, Armchair Critic. I appreciate it. It really goes a long way. Here to offer sympathy as a Barca fan, I know. Mate, at least you're going to be competing for the Liga at least. You know, see what happens with Koeman. You know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Barcelona won't be happy either. You know, because I don't buy.
You haven't got the buy. You haven't signed defensive reinforcements, so maybe a league challenge, but competing in the Champions League, you know, no chance for that back four. But you know, I certainly understand because I think we both have incompetent boards. Average Jordan's ball. Nadim says, "Can't believe we missed out on Sergio Reguilon. What performance on the weekend." Yeah. It's not like Oli is not like, you know, you see Jose Mourinho being like, I get that the board were like, we don't want to have that buyback clause. But do you think that Jose Mourinho cared? Do you think that Oli cared? Of course not. K-Sai says, guys, I might be naive, but I think they still put in a bid. Will probably get rejected. Yes, we're not. We might have, but it's not going to be enough. It's just really not.
Yeah,
go on, mate.
To be honest, let's be real. Do you guys believe that we made a bid? Let's be real. Manchester United and with Ed Woodward and with his ego, do you really believe he actually made a bid?
They did make a bid.
Do you really believe so?
No, they did make a bid. I know they did.
I think they made a bid. I think they make a bid, but it's just like with previous bids that we made a bid.
They made a bid that they knew was going to be rejected.
Exactly.
See,
and it's no different than the other players that we've been linked to, like Grealish and like when we even bid for, was it Maguire, Wan-Bissaka? I remember when we bid for Maguire, which, you know, is proving more of a mistake, but there we go. But we bid for him for like, I think 40 million or something, and Leicester were like 80 million, no dice. You know, so
yeah.
At the end, I'm not going to agree, but at the end of the day, like the club, if the buying club has set a price and you're not prepared to pay for it, especially because we're desperate to pay for it, we have to pay the money.
He's
and
worth
United
it
should.
too.
Yeah.
He's
But go on,
worth
sorry,
it.
yes. Yeah.
The thing is, Jadon Sancho's are worth 100, whatever asking price they're valuing him as. He's worth it. He's a generational talent. He's 20 years old. He's one of the best young right wingers in world football. He's actually worth the money. So Dortmund has every right to say they want 120 million for him. He's an asset. That's just the reality of it. And the thing that annoys me the most is I feel like everyone, whoever, whatever you think about Oli, this is the reality. This board has failed to back Oli when Chelsea backed Lampard, where Arsenal backed Arteta, where Daniel Levy. When has Daniel Levy ever spent money? He backed Jose Mourinho.
They've just bought a new stadium as well.
I mean,
yes, exactly. That is a very, very, very good point, Tom. Very, very good point, because
£1 billion on a new stadium.
£1 billion on a new stadium. They were furloughing their own staff, frankly, and they still been able to do something more in the market. Like, I never thought I'd live to see the day where Daniel Levy and even Mike Ashley from Newcastle, skinned Mike Ashley Newcastle. He's still got in Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser from Bournemouth, Jamal Lewis as a left back, who I actually thought United should consider as a backup to Luke Shaw at least, because he was quite good for Norwich, and Westwood from Burnley or something. 4 players.
Hendrick,
yes, you might not say that, and Hendrick. Sorry. 4 players you might not say are United potential, but what did they do? They all improved the Newcastle squad, and that's what people need to understand. Is like, one of the things I would say for Manchester United fans, when I go back to Yasir, and this is the thing that happens at the start of every transfer window, is that we often say, we often judge that this player isn't good enough for United, or we deserve better, etc., etc., and we often forget the incompetence of our board. So, to be honest, at the start of the window, I would have been like, you know what, James Rodriguez, you can say he was a flop of Real Madrid, but you know what? Let's give him a shot, because I don't expect. If we can get that deal done, it's good, because I don't think that our board can do those types of deals. We just need players who can at least compete or be better than the squad. Everton paid 40 million for the guy, and he's effectively transformed the Everton side. We missed our first target, our second target, our third target, and ended up getting scraps. So even the players who where people were talking about Dembele, like, oh, you know, this guy's injury prone, etc. We don't even end up getting the players who
were backups.
Are backups. We end up waiting for scraps. So what ends up happening is that other teams around us, even the likes of Newcastle, I'm petrified, by the way, of St. James's Park, by the way. I'm scared. I am generally scared of people might be thinking I'm freaking out, but I am generally scared of us going to St. James's Park, because I generally think they might actually come and beat us, because they look like an organized team. They've got actual good finishes now, you know. So these teams around us, mid-table, top-table teams, are improving all the time, and we're not improving our squad. You know, we're staying still, and because we're staying still, we regress, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And Average Joey says that we waste the window again. The multi-billion-dollar club, the media came out and said, out of all the clubs, we could actually afford a $700 million transfer. We have the money. But, you know, go on. Was it Tom or Yasir? You know, one of you guys just want to rant.
Yeah. I know, like, but, you know, I think. Well, I'll talk a bit about, obviously, Cavani and everything. I think I know you obviously went on your rant about Edinson, Cavani and everything, which obviously I respect your opinion and whatnot. But with Cavani, he does give you the option. He's been brought in to take over from Igalo. Igalo will go back from his loan. That's pretty much been confirmed with signing Cavani. But Cavani is going to rub off on a lot of good players. A lot of young players.
Sorry, Tom, something to interrupt you. I apologize for some of his comments, just because engaging. This kid, Kanika, says, because Portugal got to Champions League final with money spent, did he win the Champions League, mate? And at the end of the day, you know, I know, no, but it's true. And at the end of the day, like the Champions League run actually masked what was going on in the league with Spurs, i.e., they were actually losing games. Like, if not for the fact that United and a few teams were worse, and that continued into next season. So yes, getting a nice Champions League run to final is nice, but he didn't win. He didn't win the Champions League, and he didn't win anything. I think that was probably his first final, So, but this is a transfer thing. But anyway, go on, Yasser, go on.
Yeah, because like I just want to on a side note, since you're on the topic, one thing people don't really realize about Pochettino is that the people don't really look at the clubs he was at. He was at Southampton and he was at Tottenham, where their expectation is one will and never will be Man United. Their expectation they have is to keep the cup sustainable, to play good football, and to get into the top. Like not Southampton, but more Spurs, to get them into the top four consistently. He did that. Like he did that. When he comes to Manchester United, not only is he the expectation is we want you to be in the top four. The expectation is we want you to I don't know about the club, but the fans' expectation is we want you to challenge. That's it, and that would be his expectation of himself too. He would think, I want to challenge. And let's be real. That's let's be real. Jose Mourinho came into our club, a sillier winner. He got us second with 85 points, and he wanted to challenge. And what do? We gave him 3 players. We gave him a third string goalkeeper, Lee Grant, Fred, and Diego Dalot that's now on loan to AC Milan. What was it? Almost a year, almost a year and a half later, he's on loan to AC Milan. I mean, but then you expect Pochettino to come in and do what exactly? I don't understand what people expect him to do. Because let's be real, the other clubs around us are gonna get better. When Pochettino comes in, he has to start from ground zero. He has to start. Okay, yes, you got to come in, assess the players, bring in the players he believes that can instantly help him in that season, and then the first season is gonna be a test drive type of season. But then everybody else is gonna get better. So we're gonna start. We're gonna take like 4 steps back from where we are now. It is people don't understand. Like we finished with 66 points last season. Jose Mourinho's last season we finished 85 points. It's obvious we took several steps back, but as fans we were happy to do that if we were progressing eventually to challenge. With Jose Mourinho, I feel like a lot of the fans believed that we were never going to challenge with him as a manager, so we were happy to see them go. But now when Pochettino comes in here, me as a fan, I'm expecting for him, okay, you got to do something with the squad. Because apparently Oli was not good enough. That means you should be good enough to improve on the squad and to make him at least challenging. And he's not going to do that in the first season. It's not going to happen.
No, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, Yassir. And this is the thing. And just quickly addressing the kid Kanaka and just a few comments before I come back to Tom, and we'll just to sort of get a bit of positivity. I guess let's talk about the signings that Manchester United have actually made and the impact that they'll have, and then maybe we'll have a discussion about some of the other signings other clubs have made, most notably maybe Arsenal's Partey and just the impact that they will have on their squads. I think the kid next to Gemma Gridge, Aston was holding us to rant, so they wanted 80 million for him. And I saw your Sancho thing as well. I mean, I agree early in the transfer window that Van der Beek for 40 million onto Grealish, great, steal, awesome. I don't disagree with that deal whatsoever. I don't disagree with Manchester United going abroad and finding players that are cheaper than overhyped British talent. That is fair enough. However, at the end of the day, this is the problem when you do not have a director of football, someone who can plan ahead. There were many steals in this market. Thiago was a defender. Chelsea got him for 3. Gabriel was 20-30 million. Partey was 45. So there were many steals in this market that Manchester United failed to take advantage of because we were not good enough. It's as simple as that.
Poor planning, that's what it is.
Yeah, poor planning. Nadim says the only one we should leave is Ed Woodward. I agree, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Average says also we didn't sell the players we need to sell. Why is Lingard still here? That's true. Average, I'm going to bring you in a second. I'm just going to read these comments. Let's just see. Just quickly, let me say. Shazza Khan says this window has shown that the board wants to sack Oli. Remember the summer before Mourinho was sacked. That is true. I mean, we signed a few players, but is he actually been back properly? I don't think so. Who are we going to get if Oli gets sacked? No manager's available. Pochettino is available, but I personally think that's the right thing. Joe Abrams says we don't send the right people to do transfers. No wonder we missed out on young Bellingham and Haaland and Dortmund. We took a hat trick of L's as
And those are Ali's targets, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, people don't understand that Ali's targets was obvious. It was Grealish, Sancho, Haaland, and Bellingham. That was his fourth, and probably on the center back, probably Upamecano or Gabriel. Those were the targets, and we haven't got any of them. That's the thing that baffles me. Not even one.
KSI, I'll get you one as soon as I can, Chief. So you're saying we're done, G. All the positivity's gone down, mate. Well, just be prepared for a long season, man. Just a reading of the few. Yeah, we took the hat-trick of Els, read that. Shazza Khan again says Everton, Spurs, and Arsenal have overtaken us. That's even Chelsea, so we were close. It's a joke. It's really a joke. Newcastle didn't get the takeover, and they are still spending more. Exactly. Official N2014 says it's time to lower expectations and as a collective try to get the Glazers out. It's not going to happen until we start demanding a director of football. I don't disagree with those comments, to be honest, because quite frankly, this has been the case for the last 7 years. And what is the choice for United fans? We either lower expectations. I said before the window that United would finish fourth based on what's happening right now. Now the transfer window is finished. I can easily say that United are not finishing in the top 4-6. If Solskjaer gets fourth this season, again it will be a miracle. So we've essentially turned into going instead of closing the gap on Liverpool or City, we've gone to we've progressed to try and secure top 4 like Arsenal. Don't get me wrong. After seeing Liverpool concede 7 goals and City concede 5 to Leicester, maybe Leicester and City and Liverpool have maybe regressed a bit. Maybe the gap will be closer. We're still, despite the fact that we got battered by Spurs, we are still technically only a point behind Manchester City.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that as a positive thing, but you got to look at the real thing here, really. Let me just get Average Joe and Tom into the stream for quick. Average Joe, who's a good mod on the channel. Thank you for coming on, mate.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on this whole United debacle?
I'm pissed. And when I looked at what Patrice Evra had to say, and he was talking about how he was how we're sending lawyers to talk with these players. Why are we sending lawyers to talk to these players? Where are our agents? And the thing about it is that what Saeed said, Sancho wanted to come. He wanted to be here. Why can't we get this business done? We are a multi-billion-dollar club. Our board bought the club on debt, and now they're sky high of this debt. They're acting like we're not going to make this money back, and we're sending lawyers to talk to these players. Newcastle have overtaken us. Chelsea freaking 9 signings. When back in the days when Sir Alex Ferguson wanted a player, boom, it was done. It was done. Open checkbook. Boom, 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 boom. We're next. And then he puts them into the team. Why are we taking all transfer window to sign one player, our prime target? This should not be happening. We are Manchester United. This should not be happening. And then we go off and then we spend how much money on Cavani? How old is he? 30-something?
33, I think. 33.
33. We're spending all this money on a 33-year-old player. We're buying. We're just downgrading the club, and we're sitting still. And then what's going to happen is that Ollie's going to get sacked, and then we're going to be in the same place we started before. Because you have to think about it this way: Jose, at some point in time, he was back. Jose was back, and then we cut him loose, and then we started at the beginning. Ole, in a sense, he was back. It's going to start at the beginning when we sack him. So we have to look at the board. Because then the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and expecting a different result. We're doing the same thing over and over again. At least Mourinho won us the Europa. At least he did something with that. But now we're gonna sack Ole, because remember, I was reading the comments and a guy said this. This is the exact same thing that happened to Mourinho before we sacked him. We didn't back him in the window, and then months later he was sacked. So eventually, Ole is going to be sacked, and then we're going to be in the exact same place. And then we're looking at Dembele. We're looking at Dembele. Why are we looking at this injured dude? Go out and get the players that we need. 120 million. Like the guy said in the comments, we spent 80 million on Maguire.
But the thing is, Average Joe, is that even if you the issue that I have with Manchester United, right, is that no club necessarily gets their first choice. True. Okay, we get that. But the issue with Manchester United is that, but you have, if you've got good planning and good directive football, you have backups already lined up. So you know what? You find it, we can't get Sancho, right? Okay, fine. Then you go and get, I don't know, Zaha. Or Amad Traoré or something like that. Yes, they might not necessarily be to the highest quality of, or even James. Sorry, your first signing. But you've got that backup in place so that you can get that deal done, so that manager has the player in place before the start of the season, so you can work with that. Cool.
Right.
So that's how an organized could work. So I don't expect Manchester United to get all their top signings every single, because no club does. Even the big City, Real Madrid, Barca, they don't buy and they don't get their first choices. But like for example, a good point of point was today, Bayern Munich. I think they wanted to get Callum Hudson-Odoi. They didn't get Callum Hudson-Odoi. They got Douglas Costa. Now, sorry?
And they got Chiesa, the foreign.
And Chiesa, yeah. So now you could say those players aren't necessarily as good as Callum Hudson-Odoi. We can all agree with that. But the rest. At the end of the day, they've got a backup lined up, so it's done. It's done. It's in.
Right.
With Manchester United, it's like we spend ages trying to. It's the same thing in January. We spend ages trying to deal with one target and getting Haaland, either getting Bellingham, and getting Sancho. It doesn't work, and then in the last week or day, we scrambling to try and get something else in place. I.e., Gallo. It looks like Cavani this time. We were trying with Dembele. That's fallen through. I won't say Alexis Telles is reasonable. I just don't understand it with this club. I really don't. I really don't. I don't.
It's frustrating.
Sorry, let me just bring in. Is this was official N? Official N.
Who are you?
Ooh, nope, didn't come in. Okay, don't worry. So let's actually talk about. I know we've been ranting on about United's poor transfer window, and it has been a very, very poor transfer window. There's 15 minutes left, so who knows? You never know. So Thomas, I think had to head off. I'll just quickly. What has Tom said? So I just had to report on Thomas Partridge. I'll speak to you another time. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Thanks for coming on, Chief. And I'll get to the rest of your comments in a second, guys. Let's actually talk about the transfers that United have actually brought in. We obviously signed Cavani. We signed Telles. We did sign Van der Beek. Won't talk about him as much. There's obviously those two young youth players in Adama. I think it's Adam Traoré and the Pellistri guy, who's the Uruguayan. So I think let's start off. I think first of all was probably the more optimistic signing in Alex Telles, because I think that's at least a signing that was a good signing in an important area that United need to strengthen, which was left back. And he looks like a guy who I think he looks pretty good going forward. He's decent defensively, and can contribute with scoring goals. So, starting with Yassir first, what do you think about Alex Telles? Do you think it's a good signing? Do you think he'll even go straight into the first team?
That's a good question because I think it's a very good signing. Because I feel like for a long time I feel like I'm not a big hater on Luke Shaw. I feel like he does a lot of good things, but the reality of the matter is that we just don't get enough productivity from our wing backs, our left and right, left back and our right back. Any productivity going forward. Let's be real. Luke Shaw is a lot better than Wan-Bissaka going forward, but in him still, we just don't get enough productivity, and we need productivity from out wide because Rashford and Greenwood are going to come inside, so they're not going to give us creativity, and they're not going to give us the balls from out wide. So I feel like Alex Telles, he's a very good player for us, and it's going to be interesting because um, there's like some people were talking. I was listening to some people, and then there's this idea where maybe Luke Shaw can play as a left-sided center back. So because he has played for
I
us.
mean, is that a good idea if Harry Maguire's going to just put him out of the way?
Yeah, that's
For
that.
real.
Are you
I
sure
mean,
about that?
but
Oh my god.
it's just something just to think about, and it's something for Oli to think about because he has Luke Shaw has played as a left sided center back for us in a back three, so that's something to think about as well, because we don't generally have a left footed center back, and it's gonna be interesting to see if he does play, if him and Talis do play together, um, and then that also gives us a lot of flexibility as well. Um, but
Yes,
but yeah, I like for me out of all the signings we have made, that's my favorite signing. I'm
for
not gonna
sure.
lie to you. Yeah,
For sure.
I agree with that because for me, I feel like it's the only signing that makes a degree. As much as I love Van der Beek, and I include Van der Beek in this because as much as I love Van der Beek,
yeah.
it was more of a depth signing. You know, it's a depth
Mhm.
signing or a competition or to improve the sort of squad sort of thing, and it's still a good signing, Van der Beek. You know, I think that with the way that Pogba's playing, you could argue that Pogba should be dropped and Van der Beek should be in. I actually think that should happen. I genuinely think that should happen in the next game because Pogba's been awful in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
But Alex Telles is like, you know, unfortunately, Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka are decent, you know, semi-decent defensively. Wan-Bissaka was brilliant defensively, and now he's off the rails. I think that might have to do with Greenwood to a certain extent, not tracking back, but he
Yeah, I
is
think so
also
too.
hmm,
I think so too.
that hasn't helped. But going forward, you know, Wan-Bissaka is not great, and Luke Shaw is maybe marginally better. You know, so Alex Telles is someone who we can at least see. I mean, I've only watched YouTube because I haven't watched Porter for a while, but like I've only watched YouTube videos of him, and from what I've seen, the best part of his game does seem to be his ability to contribute, like going forward, ability to contribute goals, and assisting his teammates. From what I've seen, you know, so will he improve us defensively? I'm not 100% sure, but I certainly think that when we look at someone like Rashford, for example, I think that he will help Rashford immensely in
Yes.
terms of the overlap and contributing to help him to get goals. So I don't know about what you guys think, but would you because this is not like a Cavani where he's not played football for months. He's been playing football with Porto for goodness so he's match fit already.
Right.
So we've got international break. I think he might be caught up to the international team. Possibly. No, he
Yes,
hasn't
yes,
been. Did he get caught up? I think.
yes.
Yeah.
Because there was a report that was going in that when it was linked to him that we had to sign him soon because he was going flight out to Brazil for
International,
the national team.
international
Yeah,
duty. Exactly.
yeah.
So there you go. So he's an international. He's been caught up for his international tour, and obviously he's playing. He's playing with football. So I don't know what you think, but personally, would you throw him in against? It'll be against Newcastle. Would
He's
you?
also a dead ball specialist too.
Hmm,
He'll help us with those free kicks and those corners a little bit as well.
hmm,
But guys, I feel like that's the biggest problem our new signings have. The biggest problem they have is that they're coming to a team that literally are on a bad form, and that means Alex Telles when he comes in, that even if we do play him against Newcastle, he needs to perform well. and for as a player,
It's
coming
a lot of
from
pressure.
a lot of pressure coming from a new league. You have to adjust. Let's be real. You have to adjust to the new league, and that takes
Language
time.
barriers and everything.
Well, Bruno Fernandes came in and he just, I mean, did he even adjust? Like, what did he do? He just came in and was like, right, listen, this is how we're actually supposed to play football.
But
You
I feel
know
like
what I
Bruno,
mean?
with Bruno Fernandes, I feel like he was made. He was tailor made for the league. Let's be real. The guy, I mean, and also like he's like when he was at Sporting, he was the captain. He's a leader. He comes in. He's passionate. He's gonna give 110% to
That's
the.
why I was so happy with that game in the Europa when he was actually trying to get Lindelof and talking to him and trying to straighten things out, because we don't have any more of those characters at Manchester United. Our Roy Kings, our Paul Scholes. We need more of those players, and he offers that. But sorry to interrupt.
Someone told me, Average, that's a good point, because someone told me that, I mean, it's rumors, and it's probably not true, but apparently there was possibly a argument, because the thing I see of Bruno is I can see, for the first time in a while, I can see that this guy cares.
Yes.
That
Like, you
fight,
can see
that
the
desire.
like,
Yes.
you know, he's like the desire, like, I'm not taking this, you know, so apparently there was potentially a dressing room scuffle between him and Maguire. And I said this.
I heard Matic.
Was it him and Matic, was it?
Yeah, and they were
Yes,
both
yes.
pulled off. Yep. Yeah.
And pulled off. Like, now, to be honest, I wouldn't have pulled both of those players off because, well, even though there was a scuffle between these two, Matic, I wouldn't blame necessarily Matic for the disaster class yesterday. Nor would I blame Bruno, though Matic wasn't good enough. The issue with Matic is he's just not quick enough to track back. That's it.
He's too old now.
He's too old. It's his ability.
Red Devil. That's the thing for me. The thing for me is that I feel like one of the biggest problem we have is a $80 million signing that we have made, and he's our club captain. And to be honest, like if I'm gonna be 100% honest, like yes, Lindelof deserved to be dropped, yes, because he played terrible against Crystal Palace. But I think midweek we played against Brighton, and he played with Bailly, and they were in terms of partnership, they did really well. Brighton didn't have the chance that they had, even though it was this was Brighton's B team. They didn't look like they were threatening at all, like they did when we played them. And then the thing I hate about Maguire is, as a captain, show some passion.
Show some leadership.
Yeah, yell at players. Look. When Bruno Fernandes came after Lindelof gave it to him back. At times when you look at the center backs, you see Lindelof, you see him a lot shouting at players, shouting at Wan-Bissaka,
Yes.
come over here. He seems, and then you look at Maguire. Maguire is mute.
Well, if you want a good example of this, and I'll go to your comments. For those who are watching, keep your comments and the questions coming in, guys, and just voice them. If you want to come on the show, links obviously there as well. But to be honest, the highlight of that is that when Martial got, I know that Martial's probably going to get sent off regardless, right? Even though I think that was still an injustice, because I just don't get how
That was a stupid decision.
I generally do not understand how that was a thing. He got a stroke of the face and Lamella elbowed him. I genuinely, but anyway, I won't go into.
Miller goes down like his WWE.
Yeah. So like, for Matt, I was like, you saw him going like that. Why don't you check? Every straight red card should be checked by VAR. Anyway, I won't go into it because that's done. It's over. Why I brought that story up is Kaysen says there's been no Sancho. Yeah, I knew that 2 weeks ago, Chief. I'm gonna link you to my video in the stream after 11 o'clock. I'm gonna go back to that video I posted 2 weeks ago where I said no to Bale, no to Thiago, no to Reguilon, no to Sancho. And I said that 2 weeks ago because of the incompetence of this board, and I got a bit of hate from United fans because I was being negative.
It's a disgrace. It is a disgrace. What is going on? It's a disgrace.
But just to quickly finish my point on Maguire, when Martial was getting that injustice red card, Maguire didn't go over to the ref. Maguire didn't. He just held his hips, and you're like, "What's wrong with you? You're the captain."
And
like even I think Ever was saying like there was not much appeal from the players, and I was like, aside from possibly who came, I think Pogba might have come, possibly Rashford as well. Like there was no one else. No one else came, and like if this was, can you imagine if Roy Keane was playing?
Right.
Can you imagine? Do you think that Roy Keane would have been like, yeah, you know, the player might have still got sent off, but Roy Keane would be like, I'm taking some of you guys down. I don't care.
Everybody would have been up.
Goals, like the whole, they would have been up, and even Rooney. That's what I was saying about Rooney. Rooney would have been like, what the hell is this, ref? No one
Ashley
on
Young,
that field.
Ashley Young was always in people's face. Yeah, he was always in the ref's face.
And Red, that's my thing. That like, and that's why 2 years ago I was asking for Koulibaly because Koulibaly, Ramos, all these defenders, they would have been in his face. They would have been up, arguing with the ref, doing something. But like, all these players look defeated before they even kick the ball. All these players look so down before they've even stepped out on the pitch. That's my point. That if we can just get some leaders in the team, some people that will captain this side, because Pogba, even Pogba who went up to the ref, he looks defeated. He looks defeated. He's walking around and not really caring on the team. And Pogba's one of my favorite players, but there's no fight.
See, that's the thing, you know. I think that's the thing. Like the more I look back in that game, the more I'm so disappointed because there's certain players on that team that Ali has put so much faith and has he relied on these players. They let him down.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. It is official that Cavani is going to get the number 7 shirt. I'm done.
It's a disgrace.
I'm done. I'm done. I mean, aside from the fact that it's only a year or 2 max, so I guess it's not going to be long term. But
you don't give the legendary number 7. You don't give that number to just some random dude that's only going to be here for 2 years. The dude is 33. Right? Who think?
You know what that shows you, though?
Sorry, Yasser, go on.
That just proves that we're not going to sign a right winger.
No,
that
exactly.
Shows you we're not going to buy a right winger in the near future. That just shows you. We're not going to.
Saeed, it also shows that, like what Red was saying, is that we don't have any plans. This isn't planned. It's improv. It's improvised.
But then
we just go out and make these random deals.
You know what? I don't understand. Guys, help me understand this. So we went to Leicester City and tabled 80 million for Harry Maguire, but we won't pay 120 for Jadon Sancho. Help me understand that. So we decide to overpay for 80 million for Harry Maguire, in which he was available. Leicester was about to sell him for 50 to Mourinho, and we decided not to do that deal for some real reason. Mourinho, when he cried out for a defender, there was rumors that Harry Maguire was available for 50 million. You know, so he was available for 50 million. So a year later, we go in and we pay 80 million for Harry Maguire. Okay, fine, we overpaid for him. It's whatever. Okay, I'm pissed off about it, but you know what? I have to deal with it. Then a year later, we decide not to pay 120 million to a 20-year-old world-class right winger, international right winger in Jadon Sancho, one of the best young players of this generation. Imagine that. How does that make any sense?
And if I may say something really quickly,
we have $80 million for Harry Maguire, but we don't have 120 million for Jadon Sancho. Does that make any sense to anyone?
No. And this is another thing.
I don't get it.
It wasn't 120 million up front. We could have paid 90 million and 30 million, or 90 million and a little bit extra the next year. But Dortmund even said, there was a report. I forget where it came out, but Dortmund wanted 90 million and then a little bit money the next year. It could have been stagnated. They didn't want it all up front. That's
just quickly reading some of the comments back in, guys. So, Suspect Dream, there was some that were shown because I don't know it's because of your language or something. So if you, in my opinion, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't get enough slack because he's United icon. Ooh, there's the echo from that coming. So echo. I think that's from N. N, if you're listening, N, you need to mute your mic or turn the echo or something because my stream seems I'm hearing myself. So just do that and I'll get you to have your say. So Suspect Dream says, in my opinion, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is getting off slack because United like him, but let's be honest, yes, the ball is shit, but fans have been blindsided by love for him. I don't completely disagree with you, Suspect Dream, but the reality is that Jose Mourinho and Louis van Gaal were Champions League and Premier League managers and really didn't do that much better.
Right.
So I don't know. You say the board is bad, but you know this has been 6 years. We had Moyes, who was at least had more experience than Ollie. We had Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Where's that echo?
Right, you're gonna have to kick them or because I don't know where it's.
N who's in the stream. Like I know I've added you to. Yeah, it's echoes going
Yeah.
back off the mic. So and so if you hear me, you've got to turn the echo off or turn the stream off so that I just hear you, not the echo coming through. Let me just keep on going. Okay. So in answer to Suspect Dream, the reality is that the board, the ones that, and also at the end of the board, the ones that actually make these managerial appointments.
Right.
Okay. It was not the fans that said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be the manager per se. Although we were happy that we're getting some positivity back into the club, and he proved himself by the results.
Mm-hmm.
But the board could have easily said, right, you know what? It's a temporary job. Thank you for stabilizing the ship. We've got now another manager coming in, just like Everton did with Duncan Ferguson. Duncan Ferguson came in, did a very good job with Everton towards the end of the season, and was like, you know what, fine, cool. And they got Carlo Ancelotti in, and you know what happened? Carlo Ancelotti kept Duncan Ferguson on as the assistant to get things done. There's no reason why that couldn't happen with Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stays in the season. The new manager comes in, keeps Ole as his assistant to build him up experience or whatever, to give him the experience, and then if the other coach goes and Ole takes over that way. That's planning. That's
management.
That's management, and that's something that our board just did not have. You know, simple as that.
But the thing is, Red Devil, because the thing is, I look at it and I agree. We should have waited till the summer to sign to see how Ali did before we give him a contract. But I look at it, I'm like, regardless how that season last season has went, Ali had a good season. Ali got us to third. He got us to Champions League. And then the thing is, what were we talking about? That Jadon Sancho would not come to Manchester United if we don't have Champions League football. So the reward to getting Champions League football is getting Champions League type of players. The players that could take us to the next level. And the transfer window has closed, and we signed Telles, a couple of youngsters, Van de Beek, and we signed Cavani. Let's be honest, guys. Like this, what is the reward of doing well? What is the reward of getting into the top four? What is the reward for in my opinion, I think Ali overachieved for getting us to third. What is the reward for that? And then the club just didn't back him. That's the reward he got. So it baffles me. I'm like, at this point, what is very, very obvious, and what is very, very obvious is that the board do not care if we challenge for any trophies. They only care if we get into the top four. Top four is the only thing that's the standard for Manchester United football, according to the board. I mean, us fans, we have the standards we have is to win Champions Leagues, to win leagues, compete for leagues every season, win trophy, etc. and etc. But for the board and the people that run our club, their standard is for us to get into the top four. And let's be honest, like that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Because in order for us to even be in the top four, to sustain the top four, we have to at least challenge. We have to improve every year.
And so Saeed,
yeah.
On your point, when Messi came, when they said, "Oh, Messi has that $750 million release clause," the media came out and said, really and realistically speaking, the only club that can afford that release clause is Manchester United. We have
Yes.
money, but we're not choosing to spend that money. This is a $1 billion club. What's that stat that came out that said 1 in every 4 people on earth are Manchester United fans? Do you guys remember that stat that came out?
Yes.
They're getting that revenue. They're getting that money. They're just not choosing to spend it. I would like to remind you, the Blazers bought this club on debt, but they're sucking that money out of the club and it's going into their own pockets. We have the money. We have the money. We have billions upon billions of dollars. And let's be real. If we bought Sancho, the board would have made that money back through jersey sales. The board would have made that money back when stadiums began to reopen again. But it's because they don't want to spend the money and they don't care about challenging for trophies. It's top 4 Champions League branding, so they can get that next Chevrolet deal, so they can get that next deal with sponsoring or whatever the case may be. It's business. It's not a club. It's business.
And then you look at Arsenal now, and obviously have signed. Sorry, just quickly to address this. The suspect dream as comment. Just a few comments that are coming in. Who else been actually well on? Sorry,
is that echo gone?
Yeah, the echo gone. Yeah, and so,
Okay.
yeah. Just yeah. So what are your obviously thanks you for coming on. What are your thoughts on this whole transfer window debacle United so far?
This one, I'm really scared at the moment because I think this is the end. I feel like we ain't gonna return from this one. I think Pogba will disappear at the end of the season. Somebody will probably put a bid in for Martial at the end of the season. I cannot see us going forward. I only see us going down. I feel like a team like Leeds are going to press us off the pitch.
Yeah.
Teams like Newcastle are going to, I think we're in big trouble this time. Real big trouble. So
yeah, you make a good point because, like, let's be real, a lot of our good players are good players, and then other clubs would love to have our players, like Pogba, like Rashford, like Martial. There's players in our team that other clubs would love to have, big clubs. So I mean, and Bruno, come on, are you serious? A guy like Bruno, who would not want to have Bruno in their midfield? And then I feel like, like you said at a point, sooner or later these players will want to actually, because these are professional footballers. Pogba has won a World Cup. He has won titles in Juve. He wants to win titles.
Yeah.
He wants to win trophies. That's what
Pogba's
they all
leaving.
want.
Pogba's gone. I think after this year, Pogba's probably gone.
And
That's
I'm
what
not
I'm
gonna
saying.
lie to you, I
trying.
don't blame him. I don't blame him.
No,
I
for
think-
sure.
Yeah.
He's already not trying on the pitch. You can see it. He's gone after this year. He's gone.
I feel the best bet right now is we have to get Poch in. Like within the next 5 games, if Oli doesn't spin it around, Poch has to come in because at least then the performance will rise on the pitch. That's what we need now. The main thing right now is the performance need to rise on the pitch. If performance don't rise, we're in big trouble, man.
But I have a question for you because it's gonna become a circle after that. Because what's gonna happen then when the board doesn't back Poch? What's gonna happen? The same thing that happened with Mourinho, the same thing that happened to Solskjaer, same thing that happened to Van Gaal. So what's gonna happen?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah,
Can I say one thing? This squad is in a much better position than it was when we had Van Gaal or Mourinho. It's a more balanced squad. That squad is all over the place. So I believe that Poch can do something with this squad and potentially, spin it a little bit.
Okay, but I mean, okay, if Poch come in, what's your expectations? What do you think?
Just get us playing good football, get us playing a settled, steady way.
But mate, let's be real. The Spurs squad was at the time, and you could argue now, is better than our squad.
True.
Yeah.
Son, Kane, Lucas Moura, Sissoko, the defenders, Lucas, like the whole entire squad was better. So that's the only thing I'm Poch is that, like, I'm not saying that Poch, like any managerial bounce, if he came in, would do a job. But the reality is that the squad he had at Spurs was certainly a lot better, better than the United squad last season, the season before that, and the season before that. Given that obviously they finished in the top 4 successive seasons, but obviously things change, So
they didn't have a Pogba, they didn't have a Bruno. They have, hard to say.
It's hard to say. I think it's just what we're getting at is the idea that like when you have the consistent thing with Pochettino was that he didn't feel that he was getting backed, and he didn't feel like he was going to get the right players that he got. He didn't feel like he was going forward. So he's now going to be coming to a club where effectively he's going to have to do the same thing at Spurs, and he's going to experience the same thing. I'm just going to get Chucky in a second. Thanks for joining, Chucky. But it's like, I guess what I'm saying is that what happened at Spurs is going to happen at Manchester United, if not worse, because at least at Spurs, Pochettino actually developed and had a much better team to work with. Manchester United are an amalgamation of 4 different managers now that basically had to sort of that you had to get players out, get players in, move players on, and we can't get certain players away from the squad. We have players on high wages.
Lingard is still in the squad.
Lingard. Well, let's not even talk about Phil Jones. Like we arguably potentially have sold one of our best defenders in Chris Smalling. Arguably, So, but Chucky, who's obviously just joined, man. Chucky, thanks. By the way, head over to Chucky's channel, by the way, guys. So please support the G. Chucky, man. I haven't spoken to you in a while, Chief.
I've been in hiding, brother. I've been in hiding. Away, just hoping.
Let me get you into. Let me do this.
Hoping. I've been hiding away, hoping the Sancho deal will come through in the last second. When reality kicked in, then I got a bit depressed. Add that up with the results on the weekend. It's a lot to deal with. I hear you not talking about Pochettino, right? I just got a question. Who thinks Pochettino is a tactical master? Anyone? I don't.
No.
Right.
Pochettino is no tactical master. He should be nowhere near that Manchester United squad. End of the day, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is there right now. Those players will play for him. What's Pochettino going to do different? Real talk, as in, let's call a spade a spade. We just want change, and we want change for the sake of change. But if we put Pochettino in now, it's like someone said earlier on. I'm alluding to what I think you're saying. That we go around in a circle. We're going to be exactly where we are now in 2 years' time. I don't think Pochettino is better than Solskjaer, and that's just my opinion.
Bro. Come on.
But think about it this way. The reason why Pochettino got sacked from Spurs was because the players got tired of Pochettino. They got tired of the same thing over and over again. Because let's be real. That Leicester City, when Leicester City won, Spurs should have won that title, and they didn't. And they had the better players, in my opinion. They had the better players. And think about it this way: like, let's just be 110% honest. You sack Oli, you bring in Pochettino. Okay, you're probably gonna be in the top 4 the first season. But you're not going to challenge because other teams have a better squad and better manager than you.
Not only that, but it's gonna become a full circle, guys. We're going in circles. Ever since Van Gaal, the same thing happened. Mourinho,
hold up.
The same thing happened. It's a circle. The board doesn't back them. We fire them. We get somebody else in.
We don't know how good this squad is, though. With Oli, we will never know. This squad now, I'm talking, not the Van Gaal squad, the Mourinho. This squad now, it's got way more potential than what Ali's pushing it now. I believe Pochettino can do something with this squad, even though we've got the Glazers, and I believe he can do something with this squad. This squad is a lot better. It's been the best squad since Alex left.
On your point.
Hold on. One second.
Well, yeah, it's one at a time. Okay, so Yasir, okay, you go, and then I'll bring Chucky in.
So my point is, regardless how good our team, everyone thinks our team is, let's be real out here. There's better players in Liverpool and there's better players in Manchester City because they have proved it. They have won titles, guys. Let's not kid ourselves, okay? So, Pochettino comes in, he does the best he can. Do you guys honestly believe he can compete with Manchester City and Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool? That's my point. Because at the end of the day, if we're not competing for that, you can only repeat the same thing so many years. The first year, you say that. You get back. You try to compete. You can't because they're better teams. Okay, we finished in the top 4. That's cool. The second season, now we have to compete. We don't. The third season, Pochettino is not going to get packed because the board, because Edward is like, you know what? Why is this guy not challenging for a title? And the reality of the matter is, these clubs like Manchester City and Liverpool, are run better than us. Two, they have better players. Let's be real. They have better players. They have Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Fabinho. These are better players. And the reality of the matter is, we need better players. And what the board has failed to do in this summer is give Ollie better players than the players we had last season. This is basically the same team. Come
Forget
on,
the
guys.
players. We need a board.
Oh, wait.
Where is it?
Yeah,
So, Chucky, go on. Sorry, Chucky, go on. Go ahead.
Cool. Okay, right. We're going on about what do you call it, Pochettino? Like talking about bringing in Pochettino, right? Nothing's gonna change. As far as talking about all these better players, for me, nothing's gonna change. You can't change anything if you ain't got defense. It doesn't matter how good you are, how good you think you are, how good you are in scoring goals, how good you are in midfield. If you got any essential part of a football team missing, it could be a goalkeeper. Ask Chelsea, ask City previously, ask Liverpool previously. If you got any section of your entire structure missing, you're gonna have problems no matter who you are. We have got problems defensively. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be any money out there to meet any release clauses for anyone who could actually compete in our team. Looking at Manchester City, looking at Liverpool, player for player, are they better all over? Are they fucked? Excuse my language. No, they're not. No, they're not. On their day. Okay, we can't be saying on one hand that Manchester players, and then on the other hand, only gonna sell.
Sorry.
So I'm echoing.
No, sorry. Go on. I think it's and Mike echoing again. Go on, Chucky.
So you can't say on one hand that the players ain't good enough. And then look at it, on the other hand, say Ollie ain't good enough. How the hell has he got them to pull in those stats from last season and turn that thing, turn the season around from how we were last year? Ollie obviously knows what he's doing to some degree. Could Pochettino have done that? No way in hell. No. Why? The players are not going to play for him like that. They don't love him. It's as simple as that. The players love Ollie.
But that's what I'm sorry.
So as far as I'm concerned, as long as that board is there, nothing's going to change. As far as a better starting lineup, I don't even think City nor Liverpool are superior to Manchester United player for player. You could say system, definitely. You could say sections, but not the entire squad. No way in hell. That's just my opinion.
No, it's fair enough. And I said before, I've just muted everyone, just went with 2 cents. We'll probably go on for another maybe 15, 20 minutes, just thoughts, because obviously we've all had our thoughts on the board and just how bad the whole situation is. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, right now, especially because we're going into the international break, there's nothing that we can do about it. I mean, this was, I'll just actually share it actually. Let me see if I can show it, because I said I would do this at the, let me just bring that in if people can see that. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just. So this was my, just for those who can see it. This was actually my video. I mean, let's get a full screen. Let's see. This will work. Yeah. Okay. That's better. So that everyone can see it. So this actually was my 2 weeks ago. Prior to this, I actually posted this video. Which I got a lot of stick for, and I'll just play like the first bit or so. Let me just go on. People can hear that. Can everyone hear that, by the way?
Not really. It's a bit quiet.
Red, we can't really hear it.
Yeah,
Oh, you can't hear it. So, let me see if I. Sorry, 2 seconds. People can't hear it. Let me just try one thing. Sorry about this, guys, because I was actually making a very good point there. There we go. Share audio. Okay, 2 seconds, everyone. That should work now. Okay, let me go back. So this was me 2 weeks ago. When I said no Sancho, no Regal, no Thiago, no Bale. Shout out to Kofi Miranda. What I think is a transfer crisis right now. It's a transfer crisis. Hopefully everyone can hear that. I know there's going to be a lot of people well, you know what, we can still sign Sancho, we can still sign Thiago, we can still sign a lot of other players. But quite frankly, this reminds me of Mourinho's last season in charge, where we went into a season with one, I think maximum 2 transfers. He wasn't fully backed. He didn't get the players that he wanted. And this has been a recurring theme. I think that people need to realize that, yes, we did get Bruno Fernandes in January. Yes, we signed Van der Beek. But the reality is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not been given the transfers that he needed. He hasn't been. He hasn't been backed, irrespective of the money. Smiley Frame says, peace, bro. And Chelsea fan, at least other clubs got ambition. That is true. And Georgia B says, we've lived through this before. Exactly. This is what I want to get, I guess, from this show is, and obviously, if you're new to channel, just to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. If you're not, leave that like, share. It doesn't hurt anyone. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'll set the goal, 3,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Sure. That is the plan. So if you're new, please subscribe or get your friends to. It'd be great. But anyway, back on topic. Thanks everyone who is watching. The reality is, as Georgia B has rightly said, is that we have actually lived through this before. We've lived through this before, and it's frustrating. A manager comes in, they're not backed. Moyes wasn't even backed at all. Let's be real. Yes, I get that the Moyes flopped, but I'm gonna stop. I can go on. I can be dropping these. I'm gonna be dropping these sort of truth bombs and stuff, and hopefully everyone could sort of hear that. But that was 2 weeks ago. Before the, I'm not saying that, showing out bragging or anything like that. That, oh, look at me, and like that. But after that stream and even the comments, I actually got quite a few negative comments of United fans who were like, do the negativity possible, we're going to get Sancho, etc. And I was like, we need to kind of realize the reality of this, of the board, of the management that we have. And that this is not now it's weird because if you're honest about how I'm feeling right now, I don't really feel anything because this is because unfortunately, this is what I expect. So I posted that video 2 weeks ago because at that time I was like, and that was before, I think the day after that video got posted, Thiago was announced for Liverpool. Day after, Reguilon was announced for Spurs and Bale as well. And obviously now we're not going to sign Sancho. So I posted that simply because my expectations of what this club, what this management can do, there's nothing there. So, and it's not, this is not a new thing. This happened in January. This happened the summer before. This happened the summer before that. So my question before we go on to maybe just finish, let's just end on a positive and actually just talk about the impact that some of us, the signs that we have made. Because it shouldn't all be negative. We should just back some of the players that we have. But just my last question is, should Manchester United fans, and I'm going to get the Stephen guy on, should Manchester United fans actually lower their expectations?
Yeah. I would say go ahead. I would say yes. I would say definitely yes, because there comes a point in time where you have to be realistic. Yes, we would like to get Sancho. Yes, we would like to get all these players. Yes. But if you look at the teams around us, and if you look at the coaches and how the board are backing these teams around us, then we're going to have to be realistic, because PSG is coming. RB Leipzig, how far did they get into the Champions League last year? They are coming. And we're also, and where are we going? We're going to Everton. We're going to Arsenal. We're going to City, Liverpool, all these places. So we may have to lower our expectations. And we know from prior knowledge that the board is not going to back us as much as we would like, as much as we would like to. So we're going to have to lower our expectations. And of course, as a club, we will move on from this because we are Manchester United, the best club in the world. I can say it, okay? But we're going to have to be realistic and start to back the players, but have that in the back of our mind that this isn't the team that is Champions League ready.
Yeah, you know what?
Go on, Chucky. Yeah, go on.
As far as expectations, lower your expectations as far as marquee signings is concerned. we should never lower our expectations as far as where we want to end up in the season, and we should definitely never lower our expectations as far as how we conduct ourselves. And that's my biggest problem out of all this. Yes, players come, players don't come. I'm old enough to remember not getting Alan Shearer. People were devastated, and that's when we got Ole. I'm old enough to remember that people were flipping devastated that we didn't get Alan Shearer. It's all over. I remember the season when we got rid of Andre Kanchelskis, Paul Ince. It's like selling 4 main stars now. Just got rid of them. I remember people were devastated, but we still conducted ourselves properly. We should never lower our expectations as far as how we conduct ourselves, and as far as gelling as a team, and as far as improvement as well. In reflection of everything, I'm trying to be positive. Taking Sancho out of it, I'm just hurt as far as that's concerned. But our team is definitely better than how we were last year. So
yeah,
that's why I'm up with that.
Stephen, who just also before I go to Yasir, just because Stephen just joined. Stephen, who's just joined the chat. Thank you for coming on, bro. Just a quick summary of your thoughts on this transfer window. When should United fans be lowering their expectations, going forward?
Is he muted?
Yep. Are you muted? No, you're not muted, Stephen.
Look, I'm an internal optimist, and as what I've been saying on my channel the last few days is that you can look at this window. Yeah,
we can hear you now. Go on. No, you're not muted. Go on. I don't know unless you're behind. Now? Yeah, we can hear you. Go and speak.
I don't think you can hear us.
Can you hear it? I think
cool.
he might be.
Sorry, what I'm saying is that I like to be an internal optimist, and I said that there's 2 ways we can go about the. Yeah, cool. So I think I'm a bit behind on the stream here. What I'm saying is that there's 2 ways we can go about this entire transfer window, and we can talk about. We can talk about the fact that we didn't get Sancho, and we can talk about the fact that the board is a joke, and we know the board's a joke, and we know that the Glazers are a joke, and we know Edward was got a lot to account for, and we know that we didn't get the transfer window that we wanted. But at the end of the day, it's still a good squad. They're underperforming, criminally underperforming. The defense is falling apart this season. We're not entirely sure why, because it shouldn't be as bad as it has been. But it's still a decent squad. Cavani can be a good signing. Teddy will be a good signing. We have Van de Beek is a good signing. So we've added reasonable qualities. We haven't got that marquee signing that we need, but there's no way we can sit there and start saying that our squad is so much better so much worse than it was 1 or 2 seasons ago. We made it to that far in the Champions League with a squad that was in a mess, that was underperforming at the stage, that was low in confidence. You get Pogba playing well, you get Bruno Fernandes playing well, you get Marcus Rashford playing well, you sort out that defense, and you get Cavani firing. There's no reason we can't comfortably make in the top 4 and make a reasonable Champions League push.
Okay. I hear that.
Let's be real. Some people might not like me saying this, but the only reason why I probably will be a little bit optimistic is because of Oli. Because I believe in the manager. I'm gonna come out and say it. I believe that he could get the best out of this team because I've seen it. I've seen him do it. So I just feel like we need to face. I feel like what I hope a lot of the fans need to understand and realize is this is reality. And the reality of the matter is that the board, for whatever reason, has not backed a manager. And now we should, if Oli does well this season, then that means Ali deserves the utmost respect, because that means he's actually doing like magic, kind of with 2 hands tied behind his back, and that's the reality of it. Do we have good players? Yes. But at the end of the day, I genuinely believe these players, regardless of the form they are now, they're behind the manager and they believe in his manager, and that's the reality of it, in my opinion. And I feel like, and I genuinely do believe we're gonna have a good season, because I believe in Oli. I feel like he's gonna figure it out. I feel like he's gonna work extremely hard to make sure that we get our performance back and get us back to our firing all cylinder. But I feel like when it comes down to it, at the end of the season, and we have if we have a good season, then I feel like then a lot of the Ali doubters and a lot of the Ali the negativity that people have towards Ali needs to kind of be died down. Because let's be honest, the guy look what the guy is not being backed. So that's my 2 cents, to be
You
honest.
know what I think, lads? I feel
Go
like
on.
there's no way in hell we're going to get top four this season. I feel like last year, a lot of teams are in transition. Everton are out of transition. Tottenham are out of transition. Arsenal are out of transition. Like I said, Leeds are playing like they're already a Premier League squad.
Yeah.
And I feel like since I've been watching Ali, okay, when we came back from the coronavirus, it was the end of the season. It was kind of magical what Ali did, yeah, but it wasn't like anything led up to that, and we believed that we were going to play that good football and get top three. It was like it just happened. So there's no signs telling me that Ali's going to be able to fight against all these teams this season. No chance. I'm sorry, because he doesn't play. The team just doesn't play good football.
So let me just run off because I've got to get to work and just put this to one side. So I want to end because I know obviously everyone's annoyed and everyone's frustrated, but I want to at least end on a positive because it is because we obviously have made signings. So let's just talk about. We talked a bit about Alex Telles, but I thought it'd be good to just bring up again about. We signed Alex Telles, we signed Edinson Cavani, we signed Van der Beek. We've obviously signed those two youth, if you call them youth players, so I think it's Adam Traoré and Pellistri, the Uruguayan. So who, may or may I still think it's a bit strange that Adam Traoré, who's a winger from Atalanta, is considered a potential signing when he was a starter for Atalanta and he cost 30 million euros. So I don't quite get that. That sounds like an actual signing, not a potential signing. So I guess one thing to look forward to is in January, we'll actually have a right winger. Whether he'll be good enough or not, it's fine. But at least we've technically bought a right winger. It just might not be the right winger that people like, but he's coming in January. So what are just people's thoughts just generally on just quick few things on Alex Telles, Cavani, Van der Beek, and obviously the twos. And do you think that do you agree with the signings? Do you think what are your thoughts on those? Chucky, I'll start with you, then we'll round off.
I'll just do it real quick. I can hear children downstairs. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we could hear you, man. Go on.
Cool. On all the signings, Cavani first of all. Well, his timing's perfect now since Anthony Martial doesn't slap people properly. You know what I mean? Yeah, little. You know what I mean? So he's for a while. So Cavani's starting. That's something there. Cavani's obviously in my books. He's replacing Igalo, and when I look at it, the wage difference ain't too far off. So that could be a plus in a sense, however you want to spin it. Van der Beek, he's awesome. He's going to be absolutely awesome. Alex Telles, better than anything we got. He might be the best left back in the Premier League. I said it. Wait, the guy's no joke. I'm just not sure if he's got enough pace in that sense. As far as the right winger, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know nothing about this youth. No, nothing at all about this youth. First time I heard the name, I've never seen him before. So boy, I can't comment on that. I don't know.
The Adam Traoré guy looks good. From Atalanta, he looks. I'm not sure about the Uruguayan. I agree with you. I'm not really because he's been playing in Uruguay as far as I'm aware. So, but Adam Traoré was always playing Atalanta, and you obviously know how good Atalanta were in Syria last season as well.
For sure.
But that's my from what I've seen, he looks like a good player. But sorry, go on, Chucky.
But the plus about that is if he comes in, I don't want Greenwood playing every goddamn match from the right wing. That's for me. I'm not getting too caught up in what's great for his development. It's just not what I want to see. So any sort of relief, any sort of plan B, rather than Dan James just sprinting at flipping 70 miles an hour with his head down. And anything's a positive in that sense for me, man. So boy, I'm just gonna, you know what? Next week I will pop back on and I'll be a lot more positive when I got all this Sancho shit out of my head. I can't get over how we dealt with it. It really, really, really has bogged me down. And boy, I feel like how Uncle Pat feels, man. I can't lie. It's just lost is like no expectations, boy. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna stay positive. Reason being, we have got a better squad than last year, and we can turn things around. It's just the beginning of the season. Last season, the first couple of matches, we were like, we slapped Chelsea 4-0, and then it went downhill. At least we start our BS now. So, boy, we've got time to fix it. On that note, guys, I've got to go. Everyone watching this, like, share, subscribe to my man here. Everyone bless. I will catch you, man, soon. Peace, yeah?
All right, see you, bro.
Yeah, Chief, man. Thanks for coming on, man. Take care, man. See you in a bit. Sorry, it was Average Joe. So you said you went to next question. We know we got to up, but go on, man.
Yeah. Okay. So my favorite two signings are Van de Beek and Alex Tevez. Van de Beek he's a very creative player, and I think that he'll be able to spread the play with his dribbling and his passing. He just has a creative mind, and if we're gonna link the play to Rashford with whoever our front three to Martial, Van de Beek, I believe, can be that guy. As we have seen when he scored the goal when he came on, his passing and his dribbling is really top tier. I'm really excited to see what he brings. Alex Tevez as well. He's gonna help our attack. I think that Alex Tevez, like for example, his free kick. He's a dead ball specialist. So I hope that our free kicks are improved by his presence. Also,
even just our deliveries into the box.
Yes,
you know, because just for our forwards, for someone like, if there's one thing that I want to expect to see against Newcastle, if Cavani's going to start, is like the first thing is like Cavani is a good head of the ball. He's actually a traditional number 9. It's going to be in the box. So the first thing I want to see is Alex Telles running down the wing, crossing the ball into Cavani. Cavani heads it. Just keep it simple like that. Let's do that. You know what I mean? So, but go on, Average Joe, man.
Our passing, his passing should be better. His dribbling is also very, very good. So I'm also looking for him to spread the play and really connect the back four to the front line and to the midfield. He should be that dude. He's old, man.
I believe that. Sorry, go on.
I hope that he can get maybe 10, 15 goals maybe this year. Maybe. He is a little bit old, but he's also a top-tier striker when he was at PSG and even when he was at Napoli. So I hope that maybe if he could, like Ronaldo did, Ronaldo kind of changed his game when he got older. So if Cavani can be more of maybe like a target man and really poach at the edge of the box and really find the space and get some good goals, maybe he can get maybe 10 or 15. From what I've seen of this Traoré kid, he seems to be pretty good.
Who's that? Is that you used to do Average?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, go on.
Okay.
So yeah.
The Traoré kid, he seems to be pretty good. I've watched him a couple of times, not a lot, but his dribbling and his vision, it seems to be pretty good. Of course, it can be improved upon. And like Chucky said, Greenwood won't have to be playing every single match anymore, and will actually be able to rotate and give some players this rest. So I hope Traoré can develop and he can really be at least last us a season or two. And I haven't heard of the Uruguayan. I haven't heard of him. I just need to see more of him. But yeah, Van de Beek and Telles should be our star signings, and I hope that they can really improve us attacking wise, and Telles hopefully will give us just a little bit more defensive coverage from Shaw. But yeah.
To be honest,
yeah. So go on. Is it Yassi? Was it that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So,
go on.
I'm gonna make it quick and short. For me, I'm really looking forward to Alex Telles. I feel like that's gonna probably give us a different dynamic to our team. I mean, we already seen what Danny Van de Beek does. He's a good player, guys. Very good player, very young, and one thing I feel like he can play multiple positions. I feel like his best position is a number 10, but he can also play at number 8 as well, and I like players like that. Cavani, I feel like I really hope Cavani surprises everyone, because we at this point, we just need him to do that. We need him to score goals. We need him to be our plan B. To be honest, and to actually score goals. And then and the two youngsters are just two youngsters. That the kid from Atalanta, I've seen a few clips about him and everything. Looks like a decent player. On the kid from Uruguay, I have no idea. So overall, I mean, I'm looking forward to these signings because they're new players, and there's always going to be the excitement of those new players. I mean, with I'm just ready. I'm gonna go off of what Chuck said. I'm really disappointed by the Jadon Sancho. I feel like that was a dream that could have easily come true, but for whatever reason, it didn't come true. But overall, yeah, I'm looking forward to these players. And yeah, I'm gonna go too, guys. I'm gonna see you guys later.
Right, you take care, yes, yeah, man. You take care, and just round off your final thoughts and your on how you feel about the transfers, and then we'll round off.
Yeah. Personally, I believe that Cavani is too big of a player to be playing off the bench. So what I would do as a manager, I'd play Rashford off the right, Martial off the left. That's what I would do because obviously Greenwood is a spontaneous scorer at the moment. He's not really got a big impact in the match. He's just so I believe Rashford's still going to do more from the right than Greenwood. Martial on the left and Cavani in front, and I believe that's how we should go forward. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, guys. Thanks everyone for coming on. To be honest, thank you guys so much. It's been a good stream. I think it's been good for quite a few people to just vent and get their thoughts and feelings out. To be honest, I'm in an ironic way. I'm just glad the transfer deadline day is done. It is actually quite laborious covering transfer news to Manchester United because we get linked with almost everybody and sign nobody. The window is closed now. We can focus on the football. There's nothing that we can do about it now. Jira, shout out to Jira Dogma in the comments, a long-time member, is left-footed. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not like
he's left-footed, yeah.
He is left-footed.
But he's both-footed at the same time. He's both-footed. But his main foot is the left, yeah.
His main foot is the left foot. So that should be interesting, especially in people playing on the right. But yeah, I'm just glad that I'm in a way I'm glad it's over. That we can at least for at least a few months. I mean, to be honest, January it's weird because we're in October. The January transfer window is actually not that far away. It's like 2 months away. So I wonder if we're going to have the same debacle. So we're saying that we've got rest now, and yet in what just under 2 months' time, because we're like in October now. The January transfer window is going to be open. We're going to be doing this whole thing all over again. So I can't deal. I really, really can't. Let's just focus on the game now. Thanks to Average Joe for coming on, and Yassa Sir, Tom, and everyone else that was getting involved in the comments, guys. I think we all need a bit of a release from what has been a quite poor transfer window. Let's just enjoy the international break. Forget about Manchester United for a while, and fingers crossed, after the break, we can perform against Newcastle. Thanks to everyone who's watching. Remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, X, and smash that notification button for latest Manchester United news and more. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.